Welcome back to the Sahyadri webinar series, a visual journey through 200 forts across 15 traverses in the Sahyadris. Today we'll take a look at the Ajanta Satmala range, part 2, starting from the beautiful Dolab fort shown over here. We'll be traversing some 10 plus forts and peaks in this range north of Nasik. As usual, the HD videos are available on YouTube in my channel shown above, my blog ultrajourneys.org, and a 10-minute preview is posted on Insta TV and Facebook. Okay, starting from the top, we'll be proceeding from yesterday at Dolab Fort and then proceed to Rablia, Jaulia, further through Markandya, Kanergat, and then resuming at the base to Saptashrungi, from where we proceed to Ahiwant, Mohandari, and finally Achala. So the Ajanta Satmala range is a mountain range which runs across the Nasik districts. They are an integral part of the Sahyadris within Nasik. These peaks are visible from a greater part of the district and form a prominent landmark. The highest of them is Dolab at 1,450 meters. Dolab Hill is the third highest hill peak in Maharashtra after Kalsubai and Saler. At the eastern side of the range lays the Chanwat range. There is a range with the same name, Satmala, in Telangana. The range looks like a necklace placed along Nasik. It passes right through the center of the city. From Saputara to Vani, from Chanwat to Manhat is the spread of the Satmala range. Okay, we'll start at Dolab Fort, located again in the Chandwat Taluka in the Nasik district. This fort is 1,470 meters above sea level. It is the site of the second highest fort in the Sahyadri mountains after Saler. Dolab Hill is the third highest peak in Maharashtra after Kalsubai and Saler. Okay, so this is the signatures from the base. We can see a prolonged kind of pinnacle and with a small dip in between. Here we can see part of the staircase proceeding to the entrance of the fort. And then here we can see a beautiful sunset view from the top of the fort, looking again across that prolonged kind of pinnacle that stretches out and shows various other ranges there in the Satmala Ajanta range. Big rock cut caves and reservoirs below the main pinnacle, and here ending up at sunset time, I decided to simply camp on top to watch the sunrise again above this beautiful range. Here we can see another side view of that steep prolonged pinnacle, basically like a lava eruption over through a fixture. Voila, the next twin fort you can say is Ravlia and Javlia, located on a single hill plateau to overlook the trade route from Kamdesh to Nasik. The twin forts are also named as Rula Jula forts. In 1819, Captain McIntosh destroyed the steps, bastion, and the walls of the fort, making the ascent of the fort impractical. At the base, at the plateau actually, where both the forts are located, you find a couple of people here, almost Gujars, living in very primitive settlements, grazing their cattle on the meadows on this hillock. Friendly people, very innocent, very nice, disconnected from money and society. Here we can see some of the rock cut caves in Javlia, and then here are the rock cut steps that lead up to the pinnacle of Javlia. On the way you have to pass through a rock corridor to get fully to the top of the hill, where you find again multiple reservoirs on the top. Here I meet a couple of fans and followers from the Nasik side, and we share some nice snacks on top of the fort. Okay, getting down then and crossing this common hill base, we climb up here through a small gully onto Ravlia Fort, the twin fort. where again we find some big rock-cut reservoirs. Apart from that, however, not much to be found on top. So the next stop is then Markandya Fort. The base village is Mulani on the Wani Kalwan link road. It's opposite actually to the holy Saptashrungi hill. It is believed that the holy Hindu sage Markandya lived on the fort and punished the Bhimasur and other demons who were attacking Brahmin priests. The fort served as an outpost. Here we can see in the back again Ravlia Fort from where we came, going down over a small saddle there in the back through where the Geit road goes, and then climbing up through a ridge to finally go to the top of this fort using a ladder. On top we find a small temple here, and from Markandya, the temple here, the hilltop, we can see Saptashrungi in the back. Okay, next on the stop is Kanergat. It's a hill fort in the range of Ajanta. We can see a rock-cut bastion on the fort and a hole in the rock ahead of that. It is called Neda by the local people. There are 6 to 7 water cisterns, a shivling, a rock-cut cave facing Doda Fort, and the remnants of an old mansion. Voila, here you can see those rock-cut steps leading up to the top of Kanergat. And here a beautiful, pretty large pinhole near the top. Another beautiful view on the same triangular pinhole, natural arch. Saptashrungi is the site of the Hindu pilgrimage, situated 60 kilometers from Nasik. According to Hindu traditions, the goddess Saptashrungi Nivasni dwells within the 7 mountain peaks. Sapta means 7 and Shrung means peaks. The Marathas and some Bil tribes worship the goddess for a long time, and some worship as their Kuldaivat. There are 510 steps to climb the Geit. Here we can see a view, actually side back view on Saptashrungi from the road. And then, being again a pretty commercial and touristic place, hospitality was out of the question, so I just settled down for the night next to my trusty Pulsar 220 and inside my warm BV. Voila, here the night view on Saptashrungi, the staircase going up there. Next is Mohandar Fort, also called Shidaka, is an important fort in the Nasik district. The 3 forts, Ashala, Ahivand and Mohandar, are very close by. This fort was constructed to guard the Ahivand fort. This fort can be seen from a long distance to the presence of the needle hole in the cliff below this fort. I parked my bike in a small village school at the base of the hill. Beautiful interior decoration here of this, what seems to be a primary school. And then from the base again, you can see that pinhole, a fairly large pinhole, midway that long pinnacle of Mohandari. At the top again of this prolonged pinnacle, you find some rock-cut reservoirs. And here from actually almost the top of the pinhole above, you can see the prolonged ridgeline of the fort. Voila, then proceeding further along the Ajanta Satmala range, come across a lot of farming settlements. Harvest is in full swing in the month of November. We can also see a lot of farmers plowing the fields, no mechanical devices here. Many of these villages are completely depending on manual and animal labor. Sorry.
War. Ha!
Voila, Achala, Ahivand and Mohandar are very close by. The other two forts were constructed to guard the Ahivand fort. Captain Briggs has described it as a large and shapeless hill, remarkably bleak and unhealthy. The base village of the fort is Dareganwani. Here again we can see those rock-cut steps leading up to Ahivand hill. On top you find these rock-cut caves with reservoirs again. Here we're driving between the various forts. As the sun set higher during midday, it's also time to take a refreshing dip once in a while.
Time for a refreshing dip. The midday heat is letting itself be felt. Climbed 3 forts this morning, driving through the beautiful countryside. And lucky, good timing, we came across this huge lake. It's just pretty chill, but extremely refreshing given the burning sun on top of us. This keeps us going.
Okay, so next on the line is Achala Fort, which is the westernmost fort in the Satmala hill range. The Achala and Mohandar forts were constructed to guard Ahivand. The mountaintop on which Achala is built has less area and hence not much fortification can be seen. This must have been used as a watchtower with a few cisterns and a small temple. Here again we can see the rock-cut steps leading to the top of the hill. Beautiful views on the countryside below with a lot of farming hamlets and water reservoirs. On top again, a pretty dense vegetation at the end of the monsoon here, early November, and a couple of reservoirs. Voila, and then on the way further we come across some beautiful hand-carved rocks here along the way. Finally we proceed further west to Hadgat on the Nasik-Saputara road. It's a historic monument located near the border of Gujarat. It was built by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and is located at an elevation of 3,600 feet. The only way to reach the fort is through a trekking route via a narrow rocky path. A statue of Lord Ganesha is placed on top of this fort. Here you can see the rock-cut corridor leading to the top of the fort. In this corridor you have various caves cut out. And here on top, big reservoir on top of Hadgat, so lots of water. Storage must have been able to hold a small army here. Voila, then on the way to my next destination, the Selbari-Dolbari ranges, I settle down at the base of Premgiri Fort, where I get in touch with a small Baba on a small temple near a small village, where the people are again extremely innocent and nice and offering some yummy home-cooked food, as well as inviting me. Small video. Where people also invite me for a birthday party of one of the kids in the village. A wonderful community to be hosted that night. Voila, this is the second part of the Ajanta Satmala range. For all videos in the whole series, please check my blog ultra journeys.org for the entire series of the Sahyadris, as well as lots of other content. Thank you and see you tomorrow at the Selbari Dolbari ranges.